Dominic and Whitney are actually absolutely just crushing it out there. They're doing the deal. So I'm going to get out of the way here. I'm going to invite Mr. Dominic up here and let's rock this thing, man.
Keith Harris, he is actually doing the deal, and I don't even know why he was asking about silver and above, because I'm pretty sure he'll hit platinum by convention, like for sure. I'm certain of it. Him and let us give Glenn Davis a hand as well. Didn't he just absolutely smash the overview? Y'all, is everybody okay? Can everybody see okay? Are y'all too far back, or y'all all right? I just want to make sure my people's all right. All right, cool. So we're gonna have some fun tonight, of course, but tonight's discussion is actually on communication. Communication, and I'll tell you a little bit about myself. But this topic is so important, because if we don't master this, if we don't get communication down, we can have a serious problem building our business. And we'll take a look at some of this stuff, but for the most part, I'm gonna try and see what we can do because of the time. Is that all right? Yeah. All right. But I want us to get the most out of it. I'm Dominic Curry, as was told, and I share a position, of course, with my better half, Whitney Curry. Can we celebrate her right now? Who's actually, the brains behind this whole operation. I tell y'all that we're the beauty and the brains couple. She's the brains. All right. I guess that means that I'm the beauty. All right. So, I like to have fun, so just loosen up. Can everybody just do me a real quick favor, because I want everybody's attention. Can we just stand up and just stretch? Stretch. Stretch. Doesn't that feel good? Yes. Awesome. All right, cool. All right. So real quick, we're talking about communication, and in my background, my wife already told you right now, we currently pastor a church, and trust me, don't let the church suit fool you. It ain't always been that way, all right? Things weren't as great, but my background, for the most part, I've done a lot in the employment arena. Interesting enough, I'm not anti-education. My wife and I both actually have college degrees. Was able to graduate college. I did it a lot later than my wife, of course, but I wanted to go back and just finish what I started. And but the interesting thing is that Secret actually brings something different to the table. So we have people from all different backgrounds, all type of beliefs. I believe that the diversity in the room it speaks volumes of the company. And I really appreciate that. I love this group of people that we actually have here. And some people actually had some excuses tonight as to why they weren't going to make it out. But I'm thankful that you all are here, and I really want you to take an opportunity to give yourselves a hand for being here. Let me tell you why, because you're really important. You're important to this marketplace. You're important to what we do here on Wednesday nights. And I don't want you to think that your presence is not appreciated, all right? Because when you're missing, And for all the guests in the room, forgive us in advance. We just like to have fun. We're the laid-back company. But I too, out of high school, was able to land a job with a government contract and made some decent money and was able to move out of my parents' house at a relatively young age. I was a legal adult, I guess, if you want to call 18 that. But I was actually able to get my own apartment and kind of start a life, take care of myself. And I went into this, I can kind of relate to Tom, I went into this electrician program and was on a 14-foot ladder, and I fell, injured myself. I was about 8 feet up. And that took me out of that, for sure. Ended up as a lead purchaser, where I was supervising a group of people at a young age, and ended up, from there, exploring different opportunities and got introduced to this industry. I didn't really take it seriously. I just didn't. I think I kind of got in because others asked me to. I didn't really take a real good look at it, so I jumped into a few different companies, was doing a few different things. I'll fast forward time, and then my previous company, I actually kind of said, you know what, I think I'm going to take this thing seriously. It was where I got an opportunity to meet some of the leadership here. Seeing Glenn Davis from afar, I was just amazed to go into a room and see people training, and like Glenn was actually able to make six figures in his first 9 months. Am I right? 6 months in the previous. Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm talking about, where I met people in this industry. And when I saw that, it was like, wow. And hearing the stories of so many different people. And I'll tell you this, I don't have anything bad to say about any company that I've ever been in and anything that I've ever left. Because here's my thing. I hear people talk bad about where they've been, but then I hear how long they've been there. And I was like, well, if it was that bad, nothing wrong with the company. Something had to be wrong with you for staying there that long. And so the truth is that they're just kind of going in a different direction. And we actually was able to see Secret, and I paid attention. When I paid attention to the opportunity and was able to see what Secret was able to offer me, I saw things differently. One of the reasons why I believe that I saw things differently is because Joe Valenzuela, he actually came out from California just to talk to us. And his ability to communicate the opportunity is what did it for us. Because I've been now in public speaking. I'm never really nervous in front of a room or anything like that. Sometimes when I'm unsure of information, it may cause me to stumble or fumble on words, but I've become fascinated with words. And we've got to learn how to use words. I'm a pastor now, but I've actually been in ministry and pushed into a place of public speaking for about 15 years now. And so I've learned over the years that I have developed the ability, even at a young age, I guess I had the gift to be able to talk. I can talk somebody into and out of just about anything. So I feel like if I can just talk to them, the deal is done. If this just let me talk to them. If I can get to them and I can talk to them, like that's it. Because words are so powerful. And if you do not know how to use them correctly, you might talk yourself out of more than you can talk yourself into. So what I love about Secret was what Secret actually tends to communicate to us. From talking to the CEO to all the leadership, the communication is different. They actually allow you to believe, they convince you that they care more about you than they do their profit and loss. We try to make people believe, and we want them to understand it has to be genuine, that we actually want to communicate this community, this love, this care, this kindness. And that way, when you're actually talking to people from other companies or anywhere, you actually have something different to compare. Not just compensation plans, but we can actually compare leadership. Because now we actually have people that genuinely care about people. So when Joe actually came down and he talked to us, it wasn't just about the money. It wasn't just about the product, but he actually communicated something different. And it was about this community and what we're trying to build here at Secret. And so words are powerful. And words, I like to liken it to seed. And truth be told, seed should not be planted in ground that has not yet been prepared. Because if you plant seed in ground that has not yet been prepared, chances are, no matter how much you put in there, it just won't grow. So the ground has to be ready for the seed that it's going to take so that it can grow to be something that will produce more seed that can be planted, that will produce more seed that can be planted, and sooner or later one seed can become a forest. So I talk to you today with the seed of words, and my question to you today, whether you're watching online, or if you're here in the room, I just want you to shout to me and let me know if you're ready. Are you ready? Yeah. All right, cool. Y'all ain't sound ready. Well, we got 5 people that's ready. So whatever you got to do to get yourself ready to take in this information, I really, really want you to get yourself ready. And if you're ready, I want you to shout, I'm ready. Awesome. That's what I want to hear. So we're going to jump into this real quick, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about seed. I'll see how much of the size we're going to actually use, if we're going to use it. But here's the truth. How many have actually been through SU already? You've seen communications. How many? Somebody? Anybody? All right, cool. All right, so maybe next time, because we're actually way behind time to show you all the slides, all right? But I do want to give you some stuff, so I'm going to ask that you actually take out your iPhones, your iPads, your notepads, take copious notes. Because this stuff that I'm about to give you is going to be really, really important, okay? I'm going to give you some stuff, and we're going to actually leave. There were some people that was complaining at the beginning that, truth be told, when we showed the slides, they couldn't even see it way in the back, so they couldn't take the notes that they wanted to take. So I really want you to take this. If you're really, really ready, I want you to take this information, because this information could be vital to your business. And if we don't learn how to communicate, we can have problems, okay? So I want to talk about principles of communication. I wrote a couple notes. I was kind of sitting around, saw the time was running behind and said, we got to do something else, right? So I want to talk about this because this is going to be very, very helpful to you. Principles of communications. First of all, what is a principle? I want you to know that this is not just about secret. And what I love about SU and what the leadership have put together is that most people and most companies only know about their company. We want you to become an expert at the industry. But not only so, but more importantly, we want you to actually become a better individual. So a lot of people go around and they want to do better, but we actually trying to attract a group of people that want to be better. See the difference? Some people want to do better, but I want to see if I can reach somebody today that actually wants to be better. I want to become better. I want to become something different. And if I never make a dollar, if I can actually transform my thinking, if I can actually change the way that I think about myself and my perception of life and everything else, and I think that that's something that's priceless, something that a check can't give you, something that, nothing else can actually buy you. No money in the world can ever actually change that. We got people that actually changed their lives, people that were doing not so good before, but they came in this community, and then now they're actually better because they're around better people. Make sense? And so what I'm trying to do tonight is see if I can actually impart some information. And SU is not just about duplication. You've heard that before, that duplication is really, really the art of this business, this profession, for you to be able to duplicate. But when I come to a learning center, then I need to ensure that we actually have something valuable. Information that I get, it has to be valuable. And the reason why is because people travel from near, some people travel from far, and some others actually come in, and it's not like they're making money here. It actually costs them money to be here. So for me, I think that it's very, very important that I give you something that you can take away and you can actually input, you can actually put into your life and help change your life, make you a better person overall. Does that make sense? And so, I really want to add value to the night, because I want it to not just be worth your $5. I want this to be worth your time. Last time I was up training, I told you that one of my mentors taught me that time was more valuable than money. Time was more valuable than money, and there are a lot of things that people try to see if whether or not it's worth their money. But when I recognize that time is not infinite, but it's finite, I actually need to see the things that's worth my time. And I don't come all the way out here from Southern Maryland, where I stay, driving over an hour, fighting through traffic for something to be worth my $5. 300 cents. No, that's wrong. 500 cents. I'm looking for something to be worth my time. And what I appreciate about the leadership here, and there are other marketplaces, and we have a wonderful community, is that we genuinely try to, we try to really make sure that when you come here, it's not a waste of your time, okay? So, with that being said, the principles of communication, and here's one thing that you want to know about principles. Principles can be used anywhere. If you can grab hold to a principle, it won't just work in secret, but it will work in every area of your life. And if you can plant the seed of principles in multiple areas of your life, not only will you find great wealth in secret, but you can find great wealth in your relationships, great wealth in your fellowships, great wealth in your friendship. I don't care what the ship is. You know what I mean? You can actually find you can actually find wealth in anything that you find yourself in if you can actually adopt the principles. What is a principle? This is a good one for your notes. A principle is actually a comprehensive and fundamental law, doctrine, or assumption. It's a fundamental law, doctrine, or assumption. So when we talk about principles of communication, it actually teaches and tells us that there is actually a law to communicating. How many knew that? How many know that there was actually rules to communication? What? See, because some people thought that communication was just talking. No, that's just talking. And there's a lot of people that talk, but they don't communicate. Just because you're talking doesn't mean that you're actually communicating. So what we want to really spend the next few minutes talking about, if y'all beg your attention just for a little while, even those of us that suffer from ADD, and can only pay attention for just a second. I beg your attention just for a little while so that we can actually try and see if we can sharpen our communication skills. Communication skills. And I need to develop the skill. I need to learn the skill of communication. So how do I learn how to communicate? First of all, what is communication? The word communicating, this is really, really good. I don't know if you're recording, if you're going to actually pick this up, you're going to write this down, if you're going to pick up every other word, that's really fine with me, but this is one that I think that you should probably write down. I gave you some statistics the last time I was here, and somebody asked that I repeat it, but I told you that people that listen to information remember about 15% of the information. People that take notes on information actually remembers about 50% of the information. People that are participants in the lesson remember about 95% of the information. So when you nod and say yeah and all that other stuff, you're participating. You get more of it. You know, I'm not here to watch a movie. I'm here to get something, right? Communicate. So communicate means to transmit information, and all of this stuff was on this slide, I promise you. To transmit information, thoughts, or feelings so that it is satisfactorily received. To transmit information, thoughts, or feelings so that it is satisfactorily, is the way that word is pronounced, I believe, received or understood. There must be satisfaction. They have to get it. Just because you said it don't mean that they got it. So this is why people ask questions like, does that make sense? Know what I'm saying? Get this. See what I'm saying? Right? Because, y'all get it? See, when I don't see heads now, I'm nervous, all right? Because I don't know if I actually communicated what it was I was trying to say. And so I need to transmit it. And for me to transmit it actually comes from the word trans, which is to change place, transfer, transmit. I need to get whatever it is that I have to you. And if I send out something that is returned to sender, then 9 times out of 10, I did not get it there. So I need to transmit this information. And I'll submit to you that that's a skill. And skills, much like anything else, has to be developed. You cannot, it's nothing that you're just going to wake up and do. So if you do not communicate very well, don't cry. Because it's a skill. And much like the piano or any arts or any instrument or anything that requires skill, it just takes practice. It takes work. So the more you do it, the better you should get at it. But when you do it, you also need to take note of your very own self. And I'll submit to you that that's probably the most crucial thing to do, because the most critical thing you can do is because when you actually begin to critique yourself, it's a little difficult because some of y'all don't like confrontation when it comes from somebody else. But what I'm actually asking you to do is to confront yourself. So it might be a good idea to have a video or voice recorder or something so that you can actually listen to yourself. I'm one of those people that don't like to listen to myself. I just don't. But I do it at least once. I listen to it. Things that I recorded, I listen to it at least once because I constantly want to get better. I want to develop the skill. And the only way I can develop the skill is if I recognize the strengths and the weaknesses. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? All right, perfect. All right. So this is a skill. If I were to take a census, if I would actually go around the room and just ask people, what is a skill? How many different answers y'all think we'll get? A different one for each person. Let me give you Webster's definition. Not that we can really trust them. But I think I like these. All right, I'm gonna give you three. All right, the ability to use one's knowledge effectively, readily in execution or performance. The ability to use one's knowledge effectively. I won't give you the second one. It's not that great. I like this one though. Take this one. A learned power of doing something competently. A skill is a learned power of doing something competently. A lot of people do stuff, but they don't do it. Y'all gonna finish this for me? They don't do it competently. With a sense of competence, they don't do it well. Just because you do it doesn't mean that you do it well. Y'all getting this stuff? This is serious. And if y'all can grab this, I promise you that things will be a lot better for your business. And so one of the things that you have got to ensure is that whatever it is that you're trying to communicate, and because we're actually here in secret, we actually can talk about this just for a little bit. And if we actually use the statistics that I said, there are some people in here that find it very, very difficult to talk to people. You know how Glenn talked about that phone being real, real heavy? You know, you don't pick up the phone because you don't even know what you're going to say. What am I going to say? How am I going to start this thing off? What am I going to do? I mean, wow, what am I going to say? How am I going to approach this? The first thing I'll tell you is to have confidence. This is huge. Have confidence. Have y'all ever turned on a radio and heard some people sing? And y'all bobbing your head, but then you kind of backed off the music and really listen to them sing and wonder, how in the world did they get a record deal? They can't sing at all. They just don't have the gift. How in the world, no joke, like, I'm serious, y'all, like, I don't know what kind of music you listen to, but I grew up a musician, so like, I listen to all different genres. I listen to all different types of music. But I'll be honest with you, like, there are some people right now that I see getting paid that I don't know how in the world they're getting paid. Like, they done got some idiots from somewhere that have made music. They be like, yeah. What is, I ain't worried about nothing. What? Who's paying them? But they getting money. I mean, I can't argue with it. I mean, at the end of the day, they're getting it. But the truth is that they approached their thing with confidence. And as long as they're confident, nobody can break that. The other thing is enthusiasm. Enthusiasm. I tell you no lie. Like when you're just excited, I promise you, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all a little secret, okay? I'm gonna tell you a secret about secret. And this is happening. I don't know where it happened. I don't know about everywhere else. But I sat back and I started thinking. I looked at everybody that's a leader right now, and I think about when they brought in the most people, when they made the most money, like at once. Of course, your money grows in this company, all right? Here's what I want you to know about this, okay? And maybe I'll talk about it, but check this out. Your money may start off small, but it actually gets big. And other companies like a unit-level compensation plan and some other comp plans, and maybe we'll talk about it when we do the comp training, their money starts off big and then it gets small. True story. True story. So they get a lot first and then they're happy, but then talk to them a couple months they're upset. Because the deeper it goes, they just get cut out and it's no more. When ours starts small, but it gets huge. But for recruiting, true story, if I'm lying, I'm flying, and I ain't got wings. People got the most agents and the most customers when they didn't know nothing. I'm not lying. The Bradshaws hit silver in 12 days. They didn't even know what happened. We were in Phoenix. They were talking, and they called them up there and we were actually in John and Tiffany's house doing like this little private training cookout, having some fun, and we didn't know anything. And like they said, well, we got a rock star up here, the little silver badges. They said, Ben Bradshaw, come up here. Ben was like, what? Like he didn't even know. They didn't even know anything. We called it ignorance on fire because you may have heard it said before that ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. And most people want to know. I want to know all this stuff. But the truth is that the more you know, the more you say, and the more you say, it scares people away. So not only do you learn how to talk, but you actually probably talk yourself out of stuff more than you talk yourself into it. So I'm talking the most people that they recruited, like in one little segment of time, which got everybody like looking over here in the DMV, was when nobody knew anything. My wife and I, we actually hit bronze in 3.5 weeks. We ain't know nothing. But now that we know something, how long you staying stuck on your positions? Because you're saying too much, knowing too much. And I'm not saying to be ignorant, but what I'm saying is all we had to go on was enthusiasm. So people were afraid not to follow us because of what we were communicating. See, there's verbal communication, but there's also non-verbal communication. True story, I'm not telling y'all no lie, but y'all can read that flip chart and you can sound like the guy on the Dry's commercial, or you can sound like the Micro Machine Man. Y'all remember that? You know what I'm saying? Like you can just be amped. Like I didn't even know what the guy said, but I had me a whole closet full of Micro Machines. I'm dead serious. You dead serious? I'm serious. I'm serious as a seizure. I'm not playing no game. Like I'm for real. Like I had a lot of Micro Machines because why? This guy was on the time. And God, he's excited about that. Give me one of those little cars. You still have? No, I don't have them anymore. We can trade. All right, sweet. But your level of enthusiasm is what will get people, will draw people in. That communicates something that words cannot. How many ever heard the saying that action speaks louder than words? Obviously, because y'all ain't say those words too fast. Action speaks louder than words. Awesome. So like if you look excited, feel excited, true story, I'm telling y'all no lie, man. I was at a party that I actually watched somebody do, and it was painful. I mean, it was painful. I'm not lying, y'all. It's like they were sitting there and they was like, there was a comp plan. So like, I'm real amped when it comes to the comp plan. I don't know companies that give them $1 million bonus. But I'm just being honest. Like they sat there and did the compensation plan, like, yeah, and I mean, and you can get $1 million. I said, how did you just make $1 million sound bad? Like you made $1 million sound like a bad thing to have. Like how do you mess that up? I mean, like $1 million, it just made me not want it. I don't want that $1 million. I don't. What I'm gonna do with $1 million? I'm for real. She made it sound like 10 cents. I'm not joking. And I'm just sitting there like, what? How did you mess that up? So I kindly pulled him to the side. I said, listen, you got to get excited. He's like, it's you have to. Here's someone for your notes. This is on the slide too. Be excited. But here's one for you. And exciting. Don't just be excited. Be exciting. Tim Murray said that, you see people that always have a mean mug. Like and this is a true story. When I said you got to get excited, this is what they looked at me and said. They said, I am excited. Would you tell your face? Would you? I'll give you a few more for your notes, because this is really, really important. Learn to listen. Learn to listen. I'm not going to preach and I'm not going to talk about your religious views and your beliefs, because this ain't that type of party. Here's what I will say. I'm amazed because oftentimes when Jesus was talking to people, he was actually the number one recruiter. I mean, he can walk up on people's job and say, follow me, and they just went. You know what I mean? So if you want to learn a little thing about recruiting, I mean, want to learn a little bit about recruiting, I mean, it's just a cool place to look. You know, he just walked up there, they fishing. Look, I tell you what, I'm going to show you how to be a fisher of men. You know? Good. Follow me, let's go. So anyway, but he would say something crazy to me. Like, it just baffled me. He would say things like, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. What? Because just because you have ears doesn't mean that you're listening. And just because you can hear doesn't mean that you're listening. Now, I'm giving y'all stuff that I teach in other arenas, just on communication, you know, talking to husbands and wives and counseling and doing other stuff. It's not just this, it's communication stuff. So, hearing versus listening. There are people, true story, in our company that can't hear, but they listen better than those that can. I'll let you digest that. They're hearing impaired, which means they have not the ability to hear. Hearing only allows you to grab hold of sound. And some of y'all hear me now, but you ain't listening. Here's one for your notes. To hear means to have the capacity to apprehend sound. To have the capacity to apprehend sound. If you want to be a good communicator, you have to become a good listener. We were not made on accident. This stuff didn't just pop up. And for some crazy reason, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth, which probably means you should be listening twice as much as you are talking. This is not new age stuff. I mean, somebody said it before. But now you probably hear it differently because you're listening. To hear means the capacity to apprehend sound. But to listen, to my surprise, means to hear with thoughtful attention. What? To listen means to hear that sound, intending to think. So when you're talking to people, whether it be at sit-downs or whether it be at a party, learn to listen. How is it that some people, they want to call me, can you please come to my party? Can you please come to my sit-down? Can you come do this? Can you come do that? And I ask one question. I say, sure, I'll come, because I help anybody. But here's my question. Why? Because it seems like you close the deal, like you just get them to do it. And I say, I don't have no magic. You know what I do? I learn to listen. Some people are so eager to talk that they forget to listen. And so when you listen, you're listening with, what did I tell y'all? You hear with thoughtful attention. So the only thing I'm doing, I hear a lot of sound, and I funnel my way through the sound, and I'm listening. I'm listening for the hot buttons. I'm listening for the thing that they're looking for, not the thing that I'm looking for. And just because I like it don't mean that that's what they like. The compensation plan may drive me, but it may not mean a thing to somebody else. So why in the world do I keep going money, 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 when they don't care about money? They might care about time freedom. I applaud you, what you're doing, and we all need to get behind this cause and help what she's doing with the chemo patients. Because I get the privilege of talking to people and praying for people and dealing with different people with different circumstances. And let me submit to you that people that's sick don't care nothing about money. They need it, but that's the last thing on their mind. But they want some time to be able to spend with their loved ones. They look at life differently. And so we need to learn to listen. What is it? Here's the question you ask. What is it that you want? So you have got to ask a lot of questions so that you can hit the right one. Somebody called themselves trying to recruit me into their company. I'm not saying that they didn't stand a shot, they didn't stand a chance, but I mean, Secret just makes it really hard, I'm just saying. I mean, they just make it really hard. But I'm open, I listen to anything. But I talked to their person, and you know what they did? What did I just do? Threw up. That's what I did. Tom said I was listening. But they threw up on me. I said that until some of y'all like, ew, they threw up on you. Some of y'all don't even like it when a baby, you hold that baby up and they just, man, I just wanted to toss my kid across the room. I didn't, I just wanted to, you threw up on me? It is so nasty, it makes you feel so yucky when somebody just put all of their stuff that was in them on you. How does it make you feel? Picture that, being thrown up on. You don't like it, right? It's the same feeling when you pick up the phone or talk to somebody and they just start talking. Secret formed in 2005, because some people remember the flip chart. Secret formed in 2005, launched direct sales in 2011, sold in over 40 countries, did over 100 million in sales annually. The Dead Sea is the lowest point on earth, sits 1,388 feet below sea levels. Like I know the old flip chart, like I know it. Like I know it verbatim, no joke. I'm not exaggerating, I know it. But I still read it and fumble across words every time. I'm almost done, but I want to give y'all some good stuff. The point that I'm making is that sometimes your excitement and your enthusiasm will drive you to that. But you gotta sit back and watch and say, hold up, what did I just do? What I just did was distasteful. I don't like it when anybody just threw up on me. It makes them feel the same way. And when that person did that to me, truth be told, I don't know what they had. I don't know if they had a good compensation plan. I don't know if they had a good product. I don't know if they had good leadership, but guess what? I didn't care. Because they didn't care about me. Here's one for your notes. I learned this a long time ago. People don't care how much you know until they first know how much you care. People don't care how much you know. Sister, brother, know it all. I know. So, you can know whatever you want to know. You can have more degrees than a thermometer. It doesn't matter. Like, people don't care how much you know until they first know how much you care. So you've got to be genuinely interested in other people when communicating. So when they did all of that, they said, what you think? I said, my day was okay. And they was like, I said, yeah, how was yours? And I said, you know a lot of information about your company, but you don't know a thing about networking. I want to invite you out to where you can see a group of people that knows how to put the relationship first. Listening is the ability to apprehend sound. Hearing is the ability to apprehend sound, while listening is to listen with thoughtful intentions. I'm going to leave with this because it's getting late. My time was limited, and maybe we'll talk about this at another time. Now I'll skip that. Check this out. There are people that are hearing impaired. I want to see if I can make this. But then there are those that are listening impaired. I just say it more than y'all gave me credit for. There are people that are hearing impaired, which means that they don't have the ability to hear. But they're not the problem. The problem is people that are listening impaired, that have not the ability to hear with thoughtful attention. You have got to become a good thinker when you hear certain stuff. Certain stuff ought to bring other things to your remembrance. All the stuff that you done learned to ask you, all the facts and all the information. I heard about the baby boomers, but I don't remember that 10,000 of them going to turn 65 every day for the next 18 years. But you just told me how old you were. It need to trigger something. Listen. Then that way you get your agenda out the way and you put theirs first. So when you're listening impaired, but I want to give you something real quick before I take my seat. Check this out. The hearing impaired can still listen, but they do it by virtue of sign. Got it? Mm-hmm. They still communicate. It's sign language. Yeah. Can I be honest with you? The listening impaired also communicates through sign language, but they just too ignorant to accept it. What is the sign that the listening impaired gets? Your results. Your results is your sign, but you're too blind to see it. You ain't listening and you can't see. Your results, that's your sign. I must be doing something wrong because how in the world, how can they do it and I can't? It's not a different comp plan for women than it is for men. It's not a different comp plan for black people than it is for white people or Asian ethnicities or different. It's not a different compensation plan. They don't ship different certain products to this part of the country and certain products to that one. No, we all got the same stuff. The same material, the same thing. So obviously, when I see my signs, but some people are so prideful that they don't even confess that I may have the issue. And instead of trying to address it and become a better person, they rather evade it. Oh, I'm quitting. This stuff don't work. No, you don't work. Your results. That's your sign language. Am I doing all right? Right on point. I'm a preacher. I need an amen once. All right. So, as I close, I want to tell you a quick story. I was riding, this true story, by the way. I was riding up a street, and I have a heavy foot, so I like to drive fast. Yvette was following me before and called me and said, Dominic, I don't know where you are. I said, I see you in my rear view. I'll pull over. So she said, yes, you do. I don't know if I like to drive fast or I just don't manage time well. So I always think, oh, I got time. So I leave out and realize I don't really got time. So I'm gone, right? So, but I know. Keith had to learn what BPT was. So he said, what's that? No joke. He really did. He said, what is that? I said, well, I'll tell you about it. He said, what time are you on? Eastern Standard Time. There's Eastern Standard. There's Central, there's Pacific Standard. What is BPT? I said, look, we'll talk. So, but check this out. Check this out. Oh, God. Check this out. I was driving. And I know this. For all you law-abiding citizens, don't judge me. I saw this stop sign. But I didn't see no people. I ain't see no cars. What I'm stopping for? I mean, I don't see nothing. I mean, you with me, right? I got an amen for Keith. I blew right through the sign. And then, not very long, I saw these different color lights behind me. And so, he pulled me over, he said, license registration. He said, do you know why I'm pulling you over today, sir? I couldn't say no. I said, I think I got an idea. I said, yeah, I know why you're pulling me over. He said, why am I pulling you over? I said, I went right through that stop sign. He said, you did? I said, yes, sir. And I just told him because here was the truth. I saw the sign, but I ignored it. And I just stopped by here tonight to tell somebody, if you see the signs, don't ignore it. Stop. Gather yourself. Because if you move too quickly, blowing through the signs that's trying to get you to stop and just think about it. Even though you don't see nobody there, you don't think that it's going to harm or affect anybody. The truth of the matter is that in that instant, at that time, the stop sign wasn't there so that for a courtesy to someone else. It was there to look out for me. And sometimes you think that what you're doing ain't affecting nobody, and you might be right. But what if you were in this company not to make everybody else better? But what if your why, your reason for doing this was to actually make your life better? I ain't never did nobody's why, and the first thing on their list was somebody else's reason. It was their own. So why are you doing this? The reason you're doing this is to make life better for you. And if there is something that you can do, something that you can see, something that we can impart. See, sometimes these sessions, these Wednesday nights, this is why it's important to be here. And those that missed it just missed it tonight. I'm telling you, because we gave them something different. But the reason why, some people, they miss it because they feel like, oh, I don't need no motivation. Sometimes it's for motivation. Sometimes it's for inspiration. But every now and then, it's about an impartation. See, and impartations don't come all the time. So only for those that are here to receive the seed, I hope that you grow from it. I hope that you like a little something. I got to cut off, but I hope that you guys got some good notes and we become better communicators.